yam under the living room sofa and they found it. My heart broke into many pieces. Mouth, in fact, my mouth alone is going to make people kill me. Hi friends, welcome back to the Francescan Disorder. And if you've just bumped into me for the first time today, please consider being a friend by subscribing. I feel like my house is echoing as I'm talking. I'm not sure why it's echoing, but we are going to have to do with that. So today's video let's get comfortable. Today's video is going to be a very short one, a very quick one, although it's already long by the intro. I want to do a video that you've all seen all over the tube already, and mine is not even going to be the most exciting. It's just a video about my first time. My first times. So not just one first time, a lot of first times. You all know how this video goes. You all know how this video goes already, I'm sure. But yeah, let's get into the video. I just have a few questions on my phone, so I'm going to be looking down and up, down and up. First thing you do in the morning. First thing I do in the morning is look at my phone. First best friend. I think my first memory of a best friend is when I was in nursery school. I think nursery 3 or so. I feel like there are two girls that I kind of remember being my friends from an early age, but one of them is dead now. So moral of the story, don't be my friend. Yeah, she died. She actually died a very long time ago when we were still children. First plane ride. First plane ride, I don't really have any recollection of because I was a baby, or not a baby, I was a toddler, I was like 3 or 4. Me and my cousin, we traveled from Port Harcourt to Lagos as unaccompanied minors, and my cousin was like 6 or 7. So we were both like 3 or 4 and 6 or 7. I'm not sure exactly, like I said, I don't remember. My cousin will have a better recollection of it. We traveled as unaccompanied minors. Although I say unaccompanied minors, we were going to meet my auntie in Lagos, and my auntie was an air hostess, so she had her air hostess friends on the plane that they left us with from Port Harcourt. So we got to Port Harcourt airport. The air hostess, my auntie's air hostess friends took us, and then took us to my auntie in Lagos. First trouble at home. Okay, so the first time I remember I got into trouble at home. My first recollection of trouble at home is when I was like, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6. I wasn't up to 7 years old at the time, but I threw away food. I'd thrown yam under the chair in the living room. I threw yam under the living room sofa and they found it. First time I was allowed to wear makeup, maybe when I was 17 or 18. I'm not exactly sure. I say this because I had started pushing it a little bit until I was actually not being looked at twice anymore. Like, I used to wear lipstick. I think when I was like 16, I used to wear lipstick. I used to wear like lipstick that was almost my lip color. Like, you would not really notice that it was lipstick, but you would think it was lip gloss, but it was lipstick. First train ride. First train ride was actually here in the UK in 2015. Yeah, that was my first train ride. From where did I go to? I went from Luton to London. First celebrity crush. My first celebrity crush is a musician. Is an Italian musician that is called Enrique Iglesias. Oh my god, I remember having a crush on Enrique Iglesias. Oh my goodness! Every time Enrique sang, I was like, oh. My first mobile phone was a Motorola Razr. I don't know if it's called Razr, but I'll put it on the screen. It was a silver Motorola, and my oldest sister bought the phone for me as soon as I finished secondary school, because she promised me when, like, my final year in secondary school, she promised me that as soon as I finished, she'll get me a phone, and she kept to her words. First fear. The first time I remember ever being afraid of anything, I think my first fear is fear of rats, fear of big rats. First heartbreak. I don't think I've ever been heartbroken. I don't remember anybody. I don't remember anybody breaking my heart. Maybe when people have died, my loved ones have died, and like, okay, the most recent one that I can remember is like last year when my dog died. Yeah, my heart broke into many pieces. I don't know. My first heartbreak would have been the first time I knew that people died or somebody that I loved died. Um, First language is actually English language, because I was born and raised with my parents speaking only English to me, hence why I don't know how to speak my dad's language. My mom infused her language, and I feel like I have a flexible tongue, because, like, if you speak a language, if I hear a language enough, I'll learn it. So my mom spoke her language a lot with her sisters, and then they all spoke it to me. So I picked up my mom's language. My first language was English language. First piercing, first and only piercing is this one where my earrings are on. I don't know when I got it. I was a baby and my mom pierced them. So you pretty much know how all Nigerian girls, almost all, because I've seen some Nigerian girls whose ears are not pierced or were not pierced as babies. So, well, a lot of us have our ears pierced even before we're like 3 months old. First boat ride. No, with boat rides, I don't even know. I want to say my first boat ride was in Port Harcourt, speedboat at Port Harcourt Tourist Beach, back in the day when Port Harcourt Tourist Beach was Port Harcourt Tourist Beach. But I said back in the day, and the way I said back in the day is going to make my younger siblings remind me that I'm old, but whatever. So I want to say that was my first boat ride, but we didn't ride to anywhere. We just got into the speedboat and turned around, like, just around. We didn't ride to anywhere, so I don't think that's my first boat ride. And I also want to, if you can call a canoe a boat, then my first boat ride was when I was very little, maybe 5 or 6 years. My dad and my mom took me and my brother to go and see my dad's cousin, who lived like somewhere, where he lived somewhere across a little river. So we went on a canoe. But I don't know. I don't think you would class that as a boat. So I'm going to say that my first boat ride was in London on the River Thames, because that's the first time I actually rode from somewhere to somewhere else. Do you understand? From one destination to another. I think we went from Westminster to Greenwich, or we went from Westminster to Greenwich, and then from Greenwich back to Westminster. So that is my first boat ride. And then my first, what is this? First book. My first book would be, I want to say the first book I read was The Flute. I read it when I was 6 years old, but before I was 6, I used to read The Queen Premier, which is like a little book that taught children how to read. My dad used to first read it to me until I was able to read it myself. My dad started reading to me at 4, or no, my dad started reading to me earlier than that, because I remember being able to read by 5 years old. I was able to read. Yeah, by 5 years old, I was able to read. Like, I did my first reading in public. I was like 7 years old. I read in church. But yeah, by 5 years old, I was able to read everything. There was nothing I was able to read just to keep things away from me, keep what I'm not supposed to read away from me, because I would read it. I was reading everything that I found. I remember being yeah. The first book I read was a book that taught people how to read, which is Queen Premier. And then don't know if that's not going to be classed as a book because it taught people how to read. I think the next book that I read is going to be The Flute, which is I read in primary 1. I was 6 years old then. That's the first book I remember reading. It was a book about someone that lost the flute. And then first movie. My first movie is inspired. Okay, my first fear is inspired by this first movie. The first movie I remember, but the first movie I had a recollection of ever watching was a Nigerian movie called Witches, where the witches were turning into rats, big rats, which is why I was afraid of big rats. So you see how this video inspires, my first movie inspires my first fear. And then we have first wedding ever attended. The first wedding I attended was, I'm not sure how old I was at the time, but I was a little girl as well, and I was a flower girl. I remember we had to wear, there were 3 other girls, so 4 of us were flower girls, and we had to wear pink dresses. First sleepover. Shall I class sleeping over at my cousin's a sleepover? If you class that as sleepover, then that's my first sleepover. Would you class people coming to you as a sleepover, or does it have to be going over to people? I don't know, but I feel like my first sleepover would have to be going to my cousins. Since then, the only other sleepover, I was never allowed to go and sleep over at any friend's house. The only other sleepover I've had since then is as an adult, as a grown woman living by myself in London, and visiting friends and friends visiting me. So first fight. My first fight will have to be the times that I used to, the small fit fights with my little brother when we were growing up. Since then, I've never been in a fight, any physical fight. I've never fought anybody. I don't fight because I don't fight because they're going to kill me. They're going to kill me. Oh, I don't fight, but my mouth, in fact, my mouth alone is going to make people kill me. I'll talk to people and run away. Like, my mouth is going to make you kill me. I don't fight, but my mouth is sharper than, like, my mouth will finish you. My mouth will fight you. First drive. My first drive, I don't know how to drive, but I have driven a car. And how did this happen? My first drive is my sister's car in Lagos, under the supervision of her driver, because I told him then to teach me how to drive it. So yeah, that's my first drive. And actually, that's the last question. I hope you enjoy watching it. It's not a lot, and as I said, it's not the most exciting first time video that you will find on YouTube. It's not even, there's no tea in it. It's not exciting. It's just me here rambling about first time I did a few random things. So I hope you liked it. If you didn't know your first times, in the comments. So if you want to answer all these like first time questions with me, I'll be happy to read from you. And don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.